Here we go with lesson 6 from chapter 2. This is the last lesson of this chapter, so your test will be coming up soon. We're going to be talking about graphing in the 4 quadrants. So this should actually mostly be a review from chapter 1, so it should be a quick and easy lesson. We read through this here. The x-axis and the y-axis separate the coordinate plane into 4 regions called quadrants. The quadrants are named 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, remember those Roman numerals and no Q's, guys. Just Roman numeral, or you must write out the word quadrant. So the axis and points on the axis are not located on any of the quadrants. So for instance, if I were to choose this point here, it's on that x-axis. That is not in any of the quadrants, it's just on the axis. Okay, so naming our quadrants. Remember we did that C. So we have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Again, nothing new. We talked about that in chapter 1, so this is just some review, keeping you up, making sure you're staying on top of it. All right, we want to use the coordinate plane to find the distance between point E and point C. Okay, so point E is here, point C is here. You notice that they're on a straight line. They're on one of our grid lines. All you have to do is count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the distance is 5. Always, always positive. Remember, distance must be positive. We talked about that in one of our other lessons. So typically, if we ask you guys for distance at this point, they're going to be on a grid line, either going straight up and down or left and right. So you're just going to count how many boxes it takes to get from one point to the other. The only thing you want to be careful about, make sure these go up by 1. If we're counting by 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, something like that, each box would have to be counted as more than 1. All right, moving on. Name the point and quadrant represented by the ordered pair -3, -3 on the coordinate plane. Okay, so -3, -3. This is our x. This is our y direction. We always start at the origin. Negative is going to be left, so 1, 2, 3. Then negative for y is going to be down. We count 1, 2, 3, and we find that it's at point C. So point C. And what quadrant? Well, here we have 1, 2, 3. So it's in quadrant 3, using our Roman numerals. And last question. Identify the points on the coordinate plane in problem number 6 that are located in quadrant 4. Okay, so if we keep labeling, we have quadrant 4 here. This is problem 6, by the way, guys. So go back up here, we want to pick which points are in this quadrant. Okay, so what points do we see? We see point B. And we see point F. Now notice we're not listing point G or point A because they were found on the x-axis and the y-axis. Like we said on the last slide, if they're on the axis, it is not in the quadrant. So the points in quadrant 4 are just B and F. All right, that is the end of this lesson. Nice and short and sweet.